these global teams are going to eat godlike and orangutan alive instantly. That
It was all alone 3 players of THE just.
the IGL of India isn't Aru, but you have I think you have a better option.
ये सब अपने को इतना वो नहीं होना चाहिए, ग्राइंड नहीं रुकना चाहिए कभी अपना.
Okay. So you saw our BMPS, BGIS and all, right? I'm pretty sure you covered those things.
I watched as much as I could, especially of the finals, but I had shows during those shows. So I have rewatched some of the games and stuff. Like I saw the insane finish from Hunters, from Genesis, winning from the loot truck. I saw that kind of stuff. So I am aware.
Yeah, but so my question actually just comes up from this itself, and that is, you've seen those games, you've seen like even a couple of those games and all. Yeah. Still, this was my question last year as well, I remember. Where do you think we lack with respect to global teams? This has been a thing for us, for Indian teams. Whenever we go to global, we do not get the expected results. What is still, like what is or / what are those things that still just haunt us in the international lobbies?
So I'm actually going to start with a positive, Ocean, because last time we had this discussion, right, I said fragging power with the shotgun is lacking. I don't believe that's the case anymore. I feel like there's been a lot, especially of WoW show matches, 4v4s happening between, I think it was one between Nongtron Red Force and who was it? It was DSG, so Godlike, I think, or something like that. But there've been a lot of scrims.
Yeah.
And fragging wise, at least these two teams, right, Orangutan and Godlike, I would say have what it takes to win fights in a global lobby. So fragging wise, we're good. I would say India's looking really solid. Could you maybe improve synergy and communication and stuff? Maybe a little bit, as you could always, right, for any team.
Yeah.
But at least the gun skill, thumbs up. I feel like
कैसे सब क्या चल रहा है. आज अपन खेलेंगे स्क्रिम्स, बहुत मजा आएगा. मतलब थोड़ा सा 3-man ग्राइंड होगा, क्योंकि अपने दो लड़के कुछ काम से बाहर हैं, जेली और जॉनी. तो इतना लाइक अभी 3-man ही होगा, बट मजा आएगा. फिर भी अपन 3-man ग्राइंड करेंगे. गाइस देखो, ग्राइंड चलते रहना चाहिए. ये सब अपने को इतना वो नहीं होना चाहिए, ग्राइंड नहीं रुकना चाहिए कभी अपना. बूट कैंप कब जा रहे हो भाई? मेरी फ्लाइट है 25 की, 25 को जा रहा हूं मैं. 26 को क्रेट ओपनिंग करूंगा, तो मैं बूट कैंप से करके दिखाऊंगा क्रेट ओपनिंग.
one thing I want to see worked on, and this is more of a sentiment on the entire BGMI region, which is in-game, there's a big lack of direction, Ocean, sometimes I feel like. I see some pushes for like, I think it was in the finals of, what was the last one? BMPS, right?
Yes.
I was seeing pushes on sheds that realistically had no value in that particular circle. There was a circle, I think it was down south of military base.
Okay.
And I see people just driving around them like there are so many better options. I prefer you aim to take a fight against a team that is still as a 4-man. And if you win the fight, you gain a lot of value in terms of position in that zone, instead of going for a position that really, you're just going to get stuck. So for me, it's just about decision making and committing to a play that could reward, not always a chicken dinner, because that's kind of unachievable to always get a win, but that will always get you that step closer to a podium finish, which is why I always think a team should aim for is get to top 3. If you get a win, that's just something on top, cherry on top, perfect. So yeah, I would say right now, lack of direction and decision making is something that I'm a little bit hesitant on. But again, that's in general.
I have a follow-up question just on this. You said, you talked about the fact that for the teams, for a southern side of the military-based circle, like there are those kind of circles are very unconventional circles for our region, right? We do not play those kind of circles usually. What might just be a good strategy in internationals if we see an unconventional zone, unconventional circle to just play around? We will still try to think of it because, the instinct just takes over that, we should try and gather more information from one house to the other and all. But international teams, they play differently in those kind of circles. They still play patiently. They still just, will not do unnecessary pushes unless they actually have the confirmation that yes, they have knocked down one or two or more people and all. So what are the strategies to play around in these kind of unconventional zones?
See, it's kind of hard because when you're talking about these rare unconventional circles, usually I would have to look at the specific circle and say, oh, for this circle in particular, you've got to do this, or this circle, you've got to do that, because it's very adaptable.
Let's take the example of that southern side of military-based circle, the one that the game that you
Okay, that one. So let me just try and memorize. So we had, okay, so there was the shed. So military, southern side, you have a shed, you have a road, you have a slight little like dirt pile, and then you've got like a destroyed house with a tank and stuff, right?
Yes.
And there was a team up in there. I don't remember which team was in which position. I don't remember that. But they went for the shed instead, and the shed gives you cover, right? But it was on the edge of the circle, so there's a very slim chance the circle favors that position. And then by going for that fight, you allow the other teams to not have to fight you directly as your full team already, which is a big issue. And then they can easily get the angles onto you, and then the circle forces you out in the open over a road. Bad idea. If you have, and I really mean this, if you do have 3 or 4 players, then you can really go for it. If you have 1 player, the shed is a good play. If you have 3, 4 players, I would try and contest, right? Try and contest that position from the northern team. One thing that I would say hurts Indian teams along their home region right now is hesitation, right? I prefer a team, Ocean, commits to a bad play together quickly than a team that hesitates and eventually goes for a good play. But the thing is, the more you hesitate, the more time the enemy team has to prepare for your, let's say, your breach, right, on their position. Even looking back at last year, at PMGC, I didn't see Orangutan do any of those plays. The one chicken dinner they got, people are going to like I'm going to say this, but they got insanely circle gifted. It was so kind to them. They didn't have to try that game. And I feel like now what we need to see is them commit to big plays and just say, screw this. We're good at gunfight, which I do believe that India stepped up massively in terms of CQC fights. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant there, but that is my very specific thing I need to be worked on is trust yourself. If they don't trust themselves, these global teams are going to eat Godlike and Orangutan alive instantly. That is a big thing you need to work on.
We have not had the right kind of results in the internationals. That's definitely one thing. I don't know. I became depressed just knowing about that right now. Yeah.
But one thing that's fun is that and I really want to especially hype up Orangutan and Godlike for this. They're playing in global scrims, which of course global scrims, it doesn't have every region, right? You don't have Brazil, you don't have China, which is going to be really tough. But they're playing in, I think it's like a South Asian tournament where there's Nepali teams. You got Aurora that's going to be playing tomorrow, right? Which is going to be in that lobby. You're going to have Team Flash. You're going to be having 4 Thrives. I think it was S Power. S Power messaged me right after they won, and he was asking, "Bro, please give me the map feeds." I was like, "Okay, here you go, map feed for global tournaments, PMI, PMGO, blah, blah, blah." I was throwing it to him. Same for Aru. So it's good that they are trying to get that kind of these tools to try and just step up to the global level and see what is played globally. So that was also another good step from these teams. So hopefully it works out and helps.
Yeah, so people are also asking your thoughts on S-Power, since you've had conversations with him, like S-Power, how he has evolved throughout these years of playing the game.
No, I think Admino, S-Power, very strong fraggers, right? And as I said, I feel like the fragging is not the issue, right? Gunplay is not an issue for India in my mind, at least anymore. It's all about the rotation. So if you put S-Power, if you put Admino, if you put AKOP, even for the side of Orangutan, like you put all these guys in a strong position, I feel like they could I wouldn't say easily because it's pretty even, but they have a chance of coming out on top. So yeah, in terms of how he's grown and stuff, I don't want to lie and say, oh, he's grown a lot as a player. Like, I don't know, because India just came back, like a year and a half ago in the global scene, a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be a LARPer, Ocean. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I love this foul the day he was born. No, I don't know. But as of right now, recently, he was looking really strong. So I'm hopeful that he could put up some big numbers in PMWC.
Did you get a chance to? I mean, it's obviously out for the future, but did you get a chance to look at our ENC?
But I am surprised as to why the IGL of India isn't Aru, that has more international experience. Right, he's going to play PMWC. He played PMGC last year. I feel like he would be the best option right now for Team India.
Okay.
And yet they put Nakul, that has, if I'm not mistaken, Ocean, he's never played globally, right? He's only played. So that one is a bit of a head scratcher to me. Why is Nakul playing? Even though, again, I think he's one of the best in India. But I think you have a better option.